Plenty of time. So this where we got to now is on page. Let me get this something lined up a little bit. Where we got to is on page Tov Kuf Samach Tas, and we're on the fifth explanation. This explanation actually works. I can understand it. It seems like the Bior Yakar is very difficult to understand. The Maurice Saruk, there's a lot missing in it. The Maurice Saruk also, you have to pick up from his introduction. So now we're coming over here to the Zohar Chai. So the Zohar Chai says like this: Kan nira de garis kach. This is the way you should actually read this phrase. So we said before that these letters actually have their different gears as to how the letters work and different interpretations. So the first, it really looks like something similar to, let's say, a flowchart, almost like a reverse revua. So it starts out with Yud K Vav Yud. The question is why it doesn't have a K there? And then it goes to just Yud, drops the Yud, it goes to Yud K Vav, and then it goes to Vav Yud, and it goes to Yud Yud. So what he wants to do is he wants to give us an explanation of what's playing here, why this formation goes like that, Ad Khan. Well, Biari Inyan defeat Darko, and also explaining this according to how he's been working. The Iri Khan base bechinas, the tipa batipa, first with the tipa, the drop of kedusha or of maybe the Ein Sof Baruch Hu here. B'shorish his pashtus ayin sham. So it has to do with really the root, and then the spreading of this ayin sham. The lezecha b'bir sham v'zal shana. This is what it says. The vaser kashaor the bechinas shorish now. So let's talk about where everything, all the light comes from. Hanikra Yomam. So here's Yomam is like the concept of Chesed. Chesed, which contains within it all of the rest of the spheros. Also it goes in Mispashet Im Kuhu Yomim. So in all the rest of the days, which are the spheros of Zeranpin, I think that's what he means of the Vaka Zeranpin. Meir Lechem Mamti Kosam, and it shines on them and sweetens them. Oz is Chazro then when that happens, then all of them come back to be one. That's the concept of shining from the root onto what spreads. Yisrael called kol chesed, and everything comes out to be chesed, everything is sweetened down the line. And then it says hakol or. But betikas adinim, and what becomes like, what we used to say, I don't know why the word or is here exactly, but it all becomes or, he says. What's or? The or, I guess, is the pure stuff of tikus adinim, by sweetening the dinim, the chesed, the l'rachamim, l'chachriya, l'schus, in order to be able to balance everything out, so that it be for a merit, a schus. So then he says, the letters yud k vav yud is a combination of two different ideas. Of course, you could spread it in different ways. It could be the yud k. And then it could be, you could divide it into Yud K and Vav Yud. So what's pshat here? Shehu Osyus Shal Milas Vayehi, which is, of course, those are our words, Yud K. That's actually reading it backwards. And then Yud Vav, or Vav Yud. So let's see how the Hainu, Yichud. So let's explain it. This is the Yichud of Abba Ve'ima Shehem Yak. So the Yud and the K. So first, he starts out with Yud K, which is also part of the word Vayehi, V'chatipa nisarcha. So the tipa itself now starts to lengthen out, but Tiferes besod Vav, into Tiferes, which is the secret of the Vav Kitzvos, which is the letter Vav. So now you have the Yichud that takes place between Abba Ve'ima, and then spreading into Tiferes, which is the letter Vav. V'nechlalos Be'itra V'yisod, which is a Yud, and all of it winds up being incorporated into the Atara of the Yisod, the Batara, or you pronounce it, Be'itra Besod Yud. Shu his Galos Atara, which is the revelation of this Atara, the Yisod, the Dechura of the Yisod of the Dechura. So let's understand now. He says, let's see, we lose him there? Are you still there, Rabbi? Okay. At any rate. There he is, coming back again. Whoops. Okay. All right, we're back again. Now let me go backwards just a little bit. So as the light shines down this chesed, he says this chazru chad hakol chesed, everything becomes chesed. Hakol, or all of it, is pure light. B'metikus dinim, and why? Because the sweetening of the dinim, the chesed of the racham, the hachrich, the zchus, in order to pull everything over to the right. So then he has this phrase, Yaakov Uhud Sirif, the letters Yud K and Vav Yud. Shehu Osius Shal Midas Vayahi, which he said before, the Hainu Yichud Abba Ve'ima, which are the Yak, the Yud and the K, V'chatifach and this Archa, and then it starts to lengthen out. B'tiferes B'sod Vav, and then that's to tell this is a flow chart now. And it's telling you from the Yud and the K, it flows into the Vav. But the next part should be the next K, but it's not. Instead, v'nichlala be'itra b'sod Yud. But instead, it flows all to the tip of the Yisod, which is the secret of the letter Yud. In the Shirim which I'm doing now on Parshas Pinchas, you see that the Yud, which is added into the name of Pinchas, is actually a representation of the bris. So this is the Tara that we're talking about of the Yisod, and that's what the Yud means. It means it moves all the way out to the other end of Tiferes, which is the Atara of the Yisod. So he says, Shehu Yiskalos Atara, which is revealing the Atara, the Yisod, the Dechura, Hanikras Yud, which is called Yud, Besod Regel Atachton Shel Vav, which is the concept of a Yud, and then you take it, I guess it means, he says the translation is it's the lower leg of the letter Vav. So it's like the Yud is at the top, and then there's a leg of the Vav, and that's the concept of, I guess, I'm not sure how you read that. So he said, V'hu Nekudas Yud, this is the dot of that Yud. V'hu HaNekudas Atara, this is the Kuda of the Atara. Now, the reason why I said I didn't quite understand it is because the leg of the Vav is on the bottom, and which would represent the Vav itself. And then the Yud is at the top. So here you have a concept of the Yud, which represents this Atara. The Atara is the bris, the place of the bris is on the top of the Vav. But in actuality, it's at the end of the Vav. Maybe we could look at it that way too. V'zeh HaNekuda Atara, so this Nekuda, which is this crown, this tip, Niknasa b'Yisod, the Nukva, it goes into the Yisod of the Nukva. So that's the whole point. The Yud matches up with another Yud somewhere else. In the Nukva, Hare Kan Klalos Sirus Yakovi. So then now you have this concept, now you know what it means. It means Yud K in the Yichud, then it flows into Tiferes, and then ultimately into the tip of Yisod. So now we're going to say all the details of the rest of this formula that we had at the top, which is Yud K Vav Yud, Yud K Vav Yud Ad Kan. So now let's see what we said. So he says now we're going to go we'll do just the Yud K Vav. Shuhu Shisha Tzirufi Shabadas. Now exactly what this means, I don't know. He says this concept is the concept of the 6 combinations that you find in Das. What does that mean? The 6th combination, Besod or Kadmor, which is the secret of the original light. So now the concept of 6 is the concept of the tip, I guess, the tip of the Vav, which meaning the Yom Shekulo. So he said, Besod or Kadmor Yomam, which is the word Yomam, which includes all the rest of the lights. I may hear him in Spasha, the call, Amispashtim Velo Nishtana Klal. And the words are, this is the concept of Yom, and it never changes. That spreads into all of the other places it needs to be spread, but it itself remains complete. K'mavur B'pri Eitz Chaim. So he says this is also explained over there in the Kavanah of the Lulav. Shachashorish Meir Machaya El Kolam Ispashtim, because the Shorish really shines, and it spreads into all of those lower spheros, which would be Gevura, Tiferes, Netzachod, Yesod. Ki HaGevola Lahanshik, or Mishorish Chasadim, that's the idea. Shebedas, so we're talking about the Chasadim that are existed. He's saying the Chasadim, and this is what I hear him saying. There we go. Okay. Ki hagavola the hamshik or mishor chasadim shebedas, and this is the idea. The or the chasadim. The reason why it's confusing in the word using the word six is because the chasadim are five. There are five chasadim. But he's saying that there's an or that comes out of there that spreads down to the other places, which is the concept of the six, because that's the six places that these chasadim have to go. So he said, that's my interpretation. HaChasadim besod or kadmo b'tzirufi with the combination of the yud k and then going into the vav. This is really referring to the chasadim and mispashim, the chasadim which spread into six different places. L'chosiv alechem or godol min hashroshim, and to add into all of these places a great light, which is the secret, which is coming from its root. Because that is chazra l'chad, and all of this is the concept of everything coming back into oneness again. Besod his pashtos Yaakov shal hashorish hadas, so this is the spread of that. Ba'achar kach, so period. So then after that you have the final part, which is the vav and the yud. And this is the yesod of Atara. So what does that represent? He says this is the tip of the yesod v'chagirsa achar kachu yud and yud. So the vav and the yud, which we understood before, which is that it's for the yom shekula, or the yomam, which he calls it, is the spread down to the tip of the yesod. Then you come to these two yuds, shehu sod chibur atara, which is the shrinta, the tip, which is going to become the shrinta, or the shrina, shehem bebeis yudin keluchalon. Explain it. Kisham shorish l'tato, the yesod penimi the malchus tato. So here, this is the place where you have the root of the lower worlds. What is that? The yesod going to the inner yesod of penimi, of a malchus, of malchus itself. In other words, to her yesod tata, which is called the inner dot. Shehu gamke, in other words, this is Zion, I think. I always thought that was what it was, so I get mixed up. That this is the ultimate goal. Shehu gamke sod os yud, which is also the secret of this concept of bris, too. So he says, he parshas Kitayz, I guess. He says, yud should be yesod benimi, the yud is in the interior yesod, who Nekudas Sion. Oh, there it is. I did make it up. So it's the Nekudas of Sion. That's the goal. That's the target. V'sham niknas atara, and that to that place, that Sion, is where the Satara goes. So this is a secret of the word Sion now. Shehu gam came os yud, which is also a yud. This is a match of yuds. These are the two yuds v'chein trin yudim. Adkan. But so let me tie it up. He says, Nimser lamden, we learn from this, ki seder hishtalshlus tipas aor. So the order of the spread of this light. And namsinum lamdim, we learn here that what we're learning here, ki seder hishtalshlus tipas aor, for the order of the spread of the tip of light. This is the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu coming into Yomam. Hu Yakovi. That's how it gets to be Yud K and then Vav Yud. V'hainu Abba v'Ima Tiferet v'Tara. That's what those are. V'zechu b'Klalos. That's the general level. B'Pratas Hainu Yaakov Hu Shorish HaChasadim Shebedas. So this word Yaakov, which is actually represents the Yud and the K. That's the mating of Abba v'Ima going into this Vav, which is the place. I guess it's the inspiration, or what's the beginning of Das. Vav Yud Hainach is Pashtos B'Tiferet V'Tara. That's it. And then the Yud is the mating of this Tipo with the Tzion. Hainu Chiber Atara V'Yisod B'Nimi the Nukva. That's really what it is. He gave us a beautiful definition of what our ultimate goal is. We're all Zionists, right? That's what we want to do. This is Baruch Fleischman, and that's my shir today.